Tale of Two Trials by Dan Bojangles, May 10th, 2013. Allow me to set the scene. You've just come home from a 10-hour shift at Joe's Donut Holes. You're still a little high from the road rage buzz induced by a 17-year-old whipping a whistle-tip Subaru through the gridlocked interstate of your all-American city. You toss some leftover meatloaf in the microwave, crack a Coors Light, and sink into your sofa. I wonder what happened in those trials today. Flipping through the channels, you hit NBC just in time to catch Brian Williams go into detail about the latest courtroom saga captivating the nation. The trials. Trial number 1. The first trial involves a woman accused of murdering her lover. The gruesome nature of the alleged murder efficiently challenged the resolve of even the most primetime TV-hardened Americans. The victim, a 30-year-old man from California, was stabbed 29 times. He was stabbed in the back and the heart. His throat had been slashed from ear to ear, and he'd suffered a single gunshot wound to the head. A truly horrific scene, which the defense insists was the result of self-defense. The victim's ex-girlfriend stands accused of first-degree murder after evidence finally forced her to admit her role in the incident, subsequently exonerating a pair of imaginary ninjas. Yes, ninjas. There are numerous aspects of the crime which appeal to the modern American audience, a reality not lost on the entertainment media complex. Every minute detail of the couple's eccentric sexual proclivities was broadcast to a receptive national audience. Each phone sex recording painstakingly dissected by an expert, each crime scene photograph less ghastly than the next. Cable news kept all Americans informed of the latest breaking developments in the trial. An entire television news channel was devoted to up-to-the-minute coverage and speculation, complete with interviews, reenactments, and satellite interviews between television hosts in adjacent parking lots. No detail was overlooked. America experienced thorough, exhaustive murder trial saturation. Trial number 2. The second trial is a murder trial. Well, it's not exactly a trial, but a series of reports infrequently disclosed by the media for public consumption. So I suppose it's a trial in the court of public opinion. Also, technically it's murder, but instead of a single victim, the deceased comprised hundreds of innocent men, women, and children. The defendants are only recognized as such by a small minority of Americans, despite international outcry for justice. The murder weapon in this trial has been identified as an unmanned aerial vehicle outfitted with bombs and/or missiles. The volume of evidence is staggering and includes witness testimony from surviving victims in half a dozen countries. The defense insists that the accused are innocent and within their rights with regards to the accusation that they're guilty of murder. The same media that dutifully reports and analyzes every minuscule detail of trial number 1 casually reports aspects of trial number 2 with such irregularity that one is left unable to ascertain if what's revealed is illegal or immoral. On the rare occasion a mainstream media personality is able to confront the defendants about the facts or events of these murders, they're satiated by the most meager morsels of flippant dismissal imaginable. America is left with glimpses of slaughter and a vague sense of injustice. For the sake of clarity, it would be helpful to focus on a single member of the deceased, a 16-year-old boy from Denver, Colorado. His cause of death was a bomb dropped from an unmanned aerial vehicle. He was killed while eating in a cafe. From the standpoint of citizenship, the victim in trial number 1 and this 16-year-old were indistinguishable. Each is believed to have been the victim of premeditation, whether by staged robbery or disposition matrix. Both of the victims were stripped of their right to life by their killers, though society has only seen fit to bring the defendant in trial number 1 before the eyes of justice. Why? If the only difference between the victims is about 15 years of age, why is there such disproportional application of the law or morality? The answer lies in the identity of the defendants. The defendant in trial number 1 is Jodi Arias. The defendant in trial number 2 is a Nobel laureate, the Commander-in-Chief of the United States Armed Forces, the most powerful man in the world, the President of the United States, Barack Obama. Save your impassioned defense for a few more lines. Now, let's set a more accurate scene. It's not likely that you're putting in 10-hour shifts in the donut mines. You probably weren't recently cut off by a too fast, too furious aspirant. You may not be a meatloaf and Coors Light kind of guy or gal, or even a couch slouch, but I can almost guarantee that you haven't held the thought, hey, our president is kinda sorta just as guilty of snuffing an innocent life as this Jodi Arias woman. Why?